The governor of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank has described the COVID-19 public health and economic crisis as an unprecedented moment. While drawing parallels to the last great global pandemic of the 1918 Spanish flu to put into context the scale of the COVID-19 outbreak, he sought to strike an optimistic note of potential opportunity for recovery and the measures the ECCB is taking to help member states. He revealed that the economies of the ECCU will suffer contraction and a rise in unemployment based on two possible scenarios caused by the pandemic.
The ECCB has run several scenarios for the ECCU. Based on two such scenarios, economic activity in the ECCU is projected to contract between 5% and 7% in 2020, accompanied by a sharp rise in unemployment. Now keep in mind that prior to this pandemic, economic growth in the ECCU was projected at 3.3%. Member governments have fashioned and announced fiscal stimulus, or what may be more aptly described as care and relief packages, to help cushion the effect of the pandemic on individuals and businesses. This is an exceptionally challenging time for our governments because revenues have plummeted.
Governor Antoine says since the advent of the pandemic, the ECCB has been focused on protecting staff and serving the region. Some of the fiscal and monetary measures include financial support to member states, loan deferrals, moratoria, and increased lending capacity.
Reached an agreement with the ECCU Bankers Association on a loan deferral program for customers for up to 6 months. A waiver of late fees and charges is applicable to eligible customers during that period. Third, created a page on the ECCB's website to provide information on the bank's COVID-19 response. Fourth, discussed a loan deferral program for customers with credit unions, the Caribbean Confederation of Credit Unions, and national regulators. Fifth, increased government share of the credit allocation budget, thereby increasing the central bank's lending capacity to member governments. Sixth, instituted bank-wide telecommuting, working from home. And seventh, reduced the discount rate to 2% from 6.5%. This is the rate at which the central bank lends to governments and banks.
The governor gave assurances that central bank has significant foreign reserves and the EC dollar will remain strong throughout this period. He also backed calls by Bretton Woods institutions like the IMF and World for Debt Relief to countries until they can resume meeting their obligations.
The call of the heads of the Bretton Woods institutions is consistent with ECCB's advocacy in recent years for a disaster-linked clause to be inserted in the sovereign contracts of all small states. In a period of adversity, such as we now have, it helps if small countries can apply their much-needed liquidity to support rapid recovery before resuming debt payments, and to do so with the prior consent of their creditors. The regional government securities market is a critical aspect of the financial architecture in the ECCU. Last year, member governments issued a record 65 securities on the RGSM, which has been in operation since November 2002. The RGSM is not only a source of financing for government operations through the issuance of treasury bills, but also an opportunity for residents to earn higher rates of return compared to the traditional instruments such as bank deposits.
Antoine also saluted the efforts of the courageous frontline workers, implored citizens of the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union to approach the pandemic as if everyone has contracted the virus and maintain strict adherence to public health protocols, including social distancing. He called for reliance on credible sources such as the World Health Organization, the Pan American Health Organization, the Caribbean Public Health Agency, the ECCB, and local and government officials. Joachim Duplessis, HDS News Force.